Hey guys, it's Danielle K White here, creator of Naturally Made Hair Extensions and Isla Hair. Okay, let's get started. One of the biggest questions I get when wearing hair extensions is how long does the hair last and how often do you have to replace the wefts? Okay. So there are so many different qualities and brands of hair extensions, but for some reason, it's become a rule that you have to keep the hair up to 6 months. Like that's like the standard with every hairline I've ever used. It's like 6 months. The honest truth is it really depends on the brand and the quality, but it also depends on who's wearing it and their lifestyle. And it also depends on the colors. So I'm gonna educate you a little bit on this video. Hey guys, come on in. I'm Danielle K White, the creator of Naturally Made Rose and Isla Hair. Welcome to my beautiful home here in Miami Beach. If you're on this YouTube channel, you can look for anything from fashion, fitness, beauty hacks, and more. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. My experience using hand-tied hair, I created Isla Hand-Tied Hair with over 20 years of experience behind the chair based on what I felt like I needed for my hair. So Isla Hand-Tied Hair, it's a phenomenal product, but let's just talk about how often you're supposed to replace the wefts. So typically when I'm doing a phone consultation with clients, I will tell them the hair lasts up to 6 months. Now, a lot of clients will kind of forget about that 6-month mark. So it's really important as the artist and the professional to communicate this with your clients. Hey, it's been 3 months, it's been 4 months, it's been 5 months, we might want to consider budgeting and getting more hair. The hair can last longer. However, I'm a firm believer in I want my hair to always look fresh. And I think a common problem for artists is they don't want to feel like they're upselling the hair to their clients. And so they end up using the hair till it looks like it needs to be replaced. As a professional and as someone who wears hair extensions, I never want to get to the point with my extensions where it looks like it needs to be replaced. I always want to have full, beautiful hair and have it look fresh all the time. So one of the things that I like to do with my extension hair, just to give you guys an idea, I wear 2 full rows of Naturally Made Rose and a little mini piece in the crown. People always ask me how many grams of hair do I wear and things like that. Isla Hand-Tied Hair is a little bit different than other hand-tied hairlines in the sense that it does have more grams per weft. The reason I created this way was I wanted maximum amount of fullness without overloading or bulky rows. So I currently wear 4 pieces on my bottom row, I wear 4 pieces on my main row, and on the mini piece I wear 1.5 pieces. So for me, when I replace my wefts, one of the reasons I like not waiting for that full 6-month mark, you guys, my top layers, I always joke around, like I have like the worst toddler hair ever. And my top layers, I have that hair, like it gets to a certain point and it just kind of stops growing, it breaks off. I just have very, very baby fine hair. So the majority of the extensions that you see is hair extension hair. So I can't hide it with my natural hair, which means I want to replace pieces more often. So again, like I said, it depends on your client, it depends on their lifestyle. I also don't want to over color my hair. So I find that if I want to switch up my color, I might add just a few highlights or pops in my real hair, and then I will go in and replace some of the wefts with highlighted pieces. So there's so many different reasons that you can replace the wefts. Again, number one, if 90% of your extensions that you see as hair extensions, you may want to consider replacing it sooner. And then again, if you're that person that you get a little bit bored with your color, then you may want to replace some pieces more often. So again, for me and even on my clients, it's really a customized experience. When they come in, I like to look at the rows and say, you know, what are you having problems with? What is bothering you? And then I can make my professional recommendation. Oh, you want to be lighter? Unfortunately, you cannot lighten hair extensions. You can deposit, you can put color on them, but you can't make them lighter and you can't bleach them out. So if I have a client that comes in and immediately wants to be lighter, I'm always recommending to replace the hair more often. Or if you have a client and they've gone on a vacation for a long period of time, they're in and out of the water, this can cause more wear and tear on the hair and it may need to be refreshed more often. The reason I'm doing this video, you guys, is because now I feel like as an artist, we're so scared to recommend new pieces more often to our clients because we hold ourselves to this unspoken rule in the hair industry that all hair lasts for 6 months. So I wanted to get on and just educate you guys a little bit more about how often I replace mine. So anyways, let's go back. I typically tighten my extensions every 6 weeks. Now, again, I have very fine hair and I don't want to stretch it out to 8 or even 9 weeks. Some of my extension wearers that have a little bit more thicker hair, they can go to that 8-week mark. However, I go every 6 weeks. So for me, every other visit, I like to replace probably at least 4 wefts. Again, it's not that the hair doesn't last, but it might be that I want more shine, I want a little bit more longevity, I want to change up the color a little bit. So those are just the recommendations that I give available to my clients. Hey, what's bugging you? And then I can offer a solution. And again, you can color the hair. One of the benefits of Isla Hair is it holds the hair, or it holds the color really, really well. So in the past, when I had worked with hand-tied hair, one of the biggest problems I had is every time my client would come in for a refresh, I felt like I was doing like a color correction to get everything to blend. So Isla does have more longevity in its color line, but that may be something why you would replace wefts more often if it's just not holding the color very well. Okay guys, so that was a ton of information, but again, it's a question that I get asked all the time. How often do I need to get new hair, and how often do I need to replace the wefts? Now, keep in mind, if you're wearing 10 to 12 wefts and you know, 3 months in, you have decided to replace 4 wefts, well then 3 months later, you may have to replace the existing wefts in your hair. So this may seem like, you know, for a lot of my clients, like, I feel like I'm getting hair like almost every time or every other time, but it looks good all the time. Again, I'm all about not waiting until your hair looks like it needs to be replaced. So again, I wanted to build more awareness on my experience of working with so many different lines of hair extension hair and wearing and using and working with extensions for 20 plus years. All right, you guys, that was a ton of information. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to more information on YouTube, whether it is going to be curling videos, it's going to be rooting videos. We have a ton of new education going on 2025 in Miami next year. So stay tuned. If you are a fan of Natural Beauty Rose and Isla hand-tied hair, definitely check it out. I'll drop the links below for my hand-tied hairline if you want to read more information about that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.